Hello, all you coin collectors out there, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today, we're going to take a look at some U.S. quarters or quarter dollars from 1966, and we'll take a look at a few other quarters from around that era. Now, the first thing that you want to do is take a look at the front of the quarter, and you'll see that there's no mint mark here. And if you're like me, you might have spent days or weeks or months searching for the D mint mark for Denver for the 1966 quarter before you realized that the quarters from 1965 to 1967 did not have mint marks on any of them. And that's kind of an odd thing to think of now. I mean, we certainly knew that Philadelphia didn't have mint marks on theirs for a long time. But the idea that Denver didn't put a mint mark on at all is also kind of strange. And I'm not sure the reason why they didn't, but I can tell you that you will not find a mint mark on any 1966, 1965, or 1967 U.S. quarter. So here's the 66. Uh, it is, of course, a copper nickel clad copper coin. And if we tip it up, we can see the copper very evident there. You can't miss it. For those of you who say, well, we don't know if it's silver or not, we know that some of the half dollars were silver in 65 and 66 and 67. This one you can tell it's not silver. It's copper nickel clad copper. If you have any doubt, simply get one of the silver coins. Here's a 1964 silver coin, and you can see, I mean, look at the difference here. These are not in any way, shape, or form close. And you couldn't mix them up, and you can't mix them up, so don't mix them up. Silver, silver, copper nickel clad copper is copper nickel clad copper. Um, However, if you do want to check, the other thing you can do is weigh them. The 1966 quarter, because it's copper nickel clad copper, is 5.67 grams. That's significantly less than the 6.25 grams of the silver 1964 quarters in before. So if you want to weigh them, or for some reason the dates all washed out or whatever, this one here weighs 6.25 grams. This one here, the newer one that's not silver, weighs 5.67 grams. So what's the value difference? Well, the value difference is huge. This 1966 quarter, we don't have any mint marks, so we know that they made 821 million of them, and they're probably worth about 25 cents. Maybe a little bit more, but not much more than this 25-cent quarter is worth a quarter of a dollar or 25 cents. Maybe somebody would pay you 26 or 28 cents if they didn't have it, but they're relatively easy to get still in your change. On the other hand, this 1964 quarter dollar is hugely different, and that is the bullion value alone in this quarter dollar is $2.60. So it's $2.60 just worth of silver, and you'll probably be able to get between $3 and $4 for this, depending on the condition, if you can find a silver one, because they're hard to get. And to be honest, some people have melted them down for the silver value. So if you're looking, look for the ones from 64 and before for the big value. But if you're looking for 65, 66, and 67, don't look for the mint marks because you're not going to find them. It's George Washington facing left, says liberty above his head, in God we trust under his chin, and 1966 here. If we tip it up on its side, we'll see it has a reeded edge. And they actually count the number of reeds. So the number of lines in here, which are called reeds, we know exactly how many there are. Not that it's going to do you any good to counterfeit a quarter, but there are 119 reeds in the silver version here. 119 reeds there. And in the copper version, it turns out that there are 119 reeds in that also. So if you tip them up side by side and you couldn't see the silver, you'd notice that they line up exactly. There we go. So these line up exactly all the way around. And if you keep going, all the reeds will keep lining up because they're the same diameter in the same number of reeds. So even though one weighs more than the other, they're both still 24.26 millimeters in diameter. In other words, from here to here is the same on both of them. And if you look at the thickness of them, you'll see that the this one is slightly thicker, but it's only 0.01 millimeters thicker, if that. So you're not going to see a great thickness difference, but if you stand them right next to each other, they will be exactly the same height. And if you put them on top of each other, they're exactly the same size. So that's all we have today from the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Have a great day, and we'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you might have in the comments section.